If you're going to call someone out, you have to reason with them, give them constructive criticism, not attack or harass them, and most importantly, have proof of their behavior. That's what I did with my Kai Dilia and Yoshiri 1 rant.
Are you sure about that?
Is connected. This eye is not merely seeing reality, it is touching the truth.
Ruth accuses Alden of being a hypocrite and talked about character popularity, what it takes to become a fan of a character, mishandled character development, and how spin-offs can be canon on its own, despite lack of mainline appearance. We'll go to part 3 of this video series. If you aren't caught up to speed on the Sonic93 drama, I highly recommend watching the first 2 videos. And please wait till the end of the video series to form your opinion on the whole situation.
Instead, he just points out things he doesn't like about him in Sonic 06!
Yes, he's pointing out why the way they handled Silver won't translate well to future games, so that they don't have to deal with more backlash. How is that hard to understand?
Why does he feel the need to criticize a game of Silver's introduction that came out over a decade ago, just so Sega won't get more backlash? Again, that's not really related to the Sonic games today. Especially when story arc is not even canon anymore.
Both of you are in the wrong. This is what he said throughout the video. My personal problem with the Sonic series is how Sega and Sonic Team is mistreating and portraying their IPs, such as making a character and expect the fans to like them. For example, Silver is a great character in my opinion, but there are some things that I don't like about him. Here's what I think Silver can improve as a character, such as giving him a story that is well executed than his debut in Sonic 06, or at the very least, give him a game of his own that centers around Silver himself. Neither of you understood what he said, except Ruth, because she said this back in part 2.
So my question is, what made you like Silver in the first place? And what do you think of his other performance in the series?
I don't know, why didn't you fucking ask him before making the video?
Like, you didn't do the same thing to me?
You don't need permission to make a video.
I mean, I know him and many other characters get barely attention in the games, but if he's your supposedly favorite character, can you please tell me what other things Silver's done that you like? I honestly don't think you saying the things you didn't like what Sega did to him in his first game is gonna convince him to use him more in the future. And unfortunately, the hypocrisy doesn't stop there. I happen to find another fan, or worse, even supposedly a Silver fangirl on DA from this poster who was stating a similar opinion. But the thing is, it's even worse than the guy from YouTube, because she just kept going on how she finds Silver annoying and fucking annoying.
So, we're not allowed to address if a character is annoying or not? Is that really a bad thing? Because I played Borderlands and Claptrap is my favorite character. And yeah, he's annoying, but I still love the guy. He has some of the best lines and quests in Borderlands too. But I guess because I think he's an annoying character, that means that I hate the shit out of him.
Finding your favorite character's flaw annoying is one thing, but going on about the things they don't like about the quote-unquote annoying part about their favorite character over the actual thing that qualifies them as their quote-unquote favorite character is another. And like I said, Melody Sugar Plum's points and logic are worse than Valak's. Hence my frustration and why I got so upset. And also, if Melody was the real issue of my video, why did you take this long to actually bring up the main topic?
Still, you can't limit people on what they can and can't like about a specific character. I already used the example of Gamzee and Jane in part 2. I love them, but I dislike how they were treated by the author himself, and both are turned into antagonistic scapegoats. Also, even if this was the comment Melody left, then this video would have been much shorter than this. Melody's comment isn't the main topic at hand here.
Among other things that some fans are complaining about Silver. And she's supposed to be a Silver fangirl. Ha! Oh, please!
Who the fuck are you to judge who is and who isn't a fangirl of your favorite character. Did you honestly just make this video to gatekeep other Silver fans from having different reasons for enjoying the character? Or are you that protective of your fictional husbando?
Ah, yes. The first time I heard the word gatekeeping in my entire internet life, I find it funny how I'm supposedly doing something of the term I'm not even familiar with. And to answer your question, Alduin, that's the problem. None of them will make it very clear of why they like Silver if Valak didn't like his debut, which is, like I said, where you usually start to like a character from, and Melody wouldn't stop bitching about the things she quote-unquote hates about his personality. I mean, she did say what she liked about him, but not very much, and she was complaining about his quote-unquote flaws too much that sound like a hater more than a fan whom has a problem with their favorite character. And from fangirl to another fangirl, is it really that weird to be defensive over your husbando when you're seeing them being unjustified? I don't exactly see anything wrong with being defensive over a character you like, especially when they claim to be a huge fan of them, but makes it clear that they're not.
Ruth, just because you don't know what that term is, that doesn't mean you're acting upon it. You're on the internet. If you don't know what it is, you can Google that word for yourself. Actually, let me help you with that, dear Ruth. According to Wikipedia, gatekeeping is a process which information is filtered for dissemination through publication, broadcasting, the internet, or other ways of communication. So that video, by definition, was you trying to limit people from thinking Silver has flaws, which he does, and come to the conclusion that they're not true Silver fans if they think he has flaws. I am aware that English isn't your very first language, but if you're trying to act on people's words like that, then this should also apply to the things you're saying. Now that is contradiction right there.
Do not make me laugh. Just so you guys won't think I'm only saying this because, I'm a Silver fan of myself and I practically want to be the best one has ever gotten. Just so you guys won't think I'm only saying this because, I'm a Silver fan of myself and I practically want to be the best one has ever gotten.
Yes, that is the exact vibe I'm getting from what I've seen this entire video so far. You're just sitting here like, if you judge Silver, you can't be a fangirl of him like me. I fucking pray to night at him every day. I read my Bible of Silver the Hedgehog. You will never live up to my expectations about what it means to be a Silver fangirl.
My goodness, Alduin, can't you take a joke? Why you gotta be so serious all the time? Turn that frown upside down. And a little hintity hint, I'm a Muslim.
I'm sorry, but... what? Look, just because you're Muslim doesn't mean you'll get backlash from what you said. No matter who or what you identify as, you're still going to get backlash. Also, it's a fucking joke. Just laugh.
I'm gonna read it for you so you can see where I'm coming from. So this is basically another reading from me, so I hope you enjoy it, folks. I'm personally a huge Silver fan, and there's a lot of things I love about the character, like his cuteness, his innocent naivety, is that even a word? And optimistic I have to save the world personality. I also really love how he's so sweet and saves others, but there are things that I hate about his personality. Wait, what? Didn't you just establish the things you love about his character? And then the very next sentence, you change it into there are things you hate about this personality? And I'm not saying you should view him as a perfect character, because no character is, nor should be, considered perfect and flawless. But you contradict yourself big time if you use the word hate when you just said what you like about his personality, and if you're a huge fan of Silver.
Quite the statement, Sonic93. So you have to like a character's personality no matter how shitty they act? Does that mean I have to justify and agree with Eddie Gluskin being a serial killer who mutilates men to create brides? Do I have to condone Dylan Fuentes wanting to tie up people in his sex dungeon and can't disagree with it whatsoever? Do I have to support Reaper for committing acts of terrorism? This statement completely falls flat given the assortment of characters you could easily apply this statement that she made to. How is pointing out what you don't like or like in a character contradictory? Is this opinion that shouldn't even fucking matter to you? Everyone has their own feelings regarding their favorite characters, whether it be mostly positive or negative. Who are you to decide what we can and cannot like about our favorite characters?
Oh my god. All I hear is Alduin, you can't just say that you love a character's personality and then you say you hate it at the same time. That's contradiction right there. It's one thing to not agree with everything what they're doing. It's another for saying something and then saying the opposite right after. That doesn't go well with her statement of, there's a lot of things I love about the character. And then she immediately goes to what she hates about his personality and focused at the most. It'd be better if she said, there's some things I don't like about him, or I think he can be improved.
Bruh.
That is why you would know at the same argument I said this.
And I'm not saying you should view him as a perfect character, because no character is, nor should be, considered perfect and flawless.
And the characters you just mentioned are not in the same franchise or similar genre of video games and personalities, so it's not a good comparison, nor is it anything related to Silver's personality that Melody was complaining about. And if you still like the characters whom have done some really messed up stuffs, why can't Melody be okay with the flaws she states of Silver, which isn't half as bad as your favorite characters? Which, by the way, aren't even flaws to begin with, but it's just her being picky and incredibly unfair.
Are you trying to say that Melody could have used something much lighter and can't use hate and love in the same sentence? Because Alwyn was trying to use the character in her video, I assume that's her avatar because I don't know much about the character or the series season. But you know what? I already mentioned Shadow and his popularity in part 2 because this is already rounding back to the whole popularity crap since this doesn't make any look of sense of what you're trying to say here.
And also, how is Silver not being serious when he confronts Sonic or Shadow? He defeats Sonic with an ease, even if he plays him and defeats Silver. He still gets back on his feet and pushes him into the wall, and Sonic pretty much got defeated. Not to mention the 2 times he stopped Sonic from rescuing Elise. Again, how is that not a serious character when he shows himself to be threatening?
Melody wasn't pointing out how Silver wasn't serious. If you paid close attention to what she said, she was pointing out how Silver's character is inconsistent. Being all whiny from one cutscene and being totally balls to the wall serious the next. That's an issue someone can have with a character, is when they're not being in character.
How can they be out of character when they just got introduced to the franchise? And like in real life, you're seeing different sides of a character and not just one side of their personalities. That doesn't make them inconsistent or out of character. It's just more about seeing different sides of their personalities, which I honestly wish that Sega would elaborate and not just keep making them act the same way in different situations. And Melody didn't say he's all serious when he's around Sonic or Shadow. She says he's acting all serious when he's around Sonic or Shadow.
That's true. Sega, or specifically Sonic Team, often changes the way the characters have been portrayed between games. Taking Shadow for example, he was portrayed differently after Sonic 06, transitioning from a grim and solemn character to a Vegeta tsundere edgelord who often does wholesome shit. Actually, I'd take that last one back, that just makes him cuter than usual.
I just find that really annoying. Silver's also very silly and gullible for believing a hedgehog with no mouth.
Okay, you must get very easily annoyed if someone who just simply get amazed by something annoying. And I have seen people stating on why they don't like Silver's because of how easily tricked he was by Mephiles. I've even seen 2 memes saying the same thing. It's like they have forgotten that he was desperate to save his future, and not only did Mephiles take advantage of that, but he also made it clear that he's aware of Iblis as a whole. So technically, he didn't lie to Silver, he only misled him from the actual truth.
You know, you'd think those memes that you showed would clear up why his naive nature is a bad thing? I understand that Silver wanted to stop Iblis from destroying the world, but to blindly trust Mephiles without even questioning a word he said, or asking other people about Sonic, or the history of the Flames disaster, or hell, even asking who Mephiles is might have made the whole act of preventing Iblis 100 times more easier than what actually happened!
What the fuck are you even saying? That troll music is so damn loud, I can't even comprehend what you said at the last part. The only thing I got was this, Silver should question Mephiles instead of blindly believing in him, even though Blaze did the same thing, but since she's a better character than Silver, I'm not gonna even bother questioning that.
Dumbass, that's still lying. In order to summon Iblis, Mephiles has told Silver to go back in time to stop Sonic, along with other things that also happened. Just because a bunch of characters are involved doesn't mean Silver gets pushed under the rug. He has a campaign on his own that centers around him for a reason.
And also, need I to remind this stupid fanbase that Knuckles has been tricked by the same person more than once? And I don't see people complain about that.
You know that Knuckles being a bonehead has always been kind of a present theme in Sonic, right? I'm pretty sure the fans are well aware that Knuckles acts on impulse because of how hot-headed he is. I mean, even when he does act irrationally, it really comes at the expense of the world getting fucked over.
If I understood what Alduin said right, you're basically saying Knuckles being a bonehead, acting on impulse because he's a hothead and irrational is better than Silver desperately believing in Mephiles because it's an expense of the world coming to an end. Well, in that case, shouldn't Knuckles know better to not trust the same person twice or more? I don't see how that's better than having no choice but to believe in a stranger whom is telling you what you want to hear out of manipulation, and out of desperation, you're going for it.
Because in Sonic Adventure, Knuckles attacked Sonic because Eggman lied to Knuckles that Sonic is going after the Master Emerald. That led to the unfortunate event of Chaos getting a power boost. In Sonic 06, Silver believed in Mephiles because he was frustrated that the fact Iblis cannot be killed. Mephiles stepped into the picture, informing Silver the time when Iblis was first unleashed onto the world, tells him that the cause of Flames' disaster was the one called the Iblis Trigger, who was revealed to be Sonic, and sends both Silver and Blaze to go back in time to stop Sonic from destroying the future. Over time, after discovering Mephiles' true motive, Silver and Shadow returned to the present and shared this information to Blaze, and he changed his mind about killing Sonic. Like, you can rewatch the cutscenes from the game to support this, or even go straight to the source by going to the game's wiki.
On top of that, I hate how he was separated from Blaze. He was shouting, Blaze! Like he couldn't be alone without her, as stated by Blaze herself, that Silver's insecure while being alone. And I just find that a little annoying, especially from a hedgehog that's supposed to look cool and act all serious, like Shadow when it's available.
Okay. One word for this. Shallow! Seriously! Can you even call yourself a Silver fangirl when you can't even accept his flaws?
She doesn't need to accept his flaws! Why are you treating a fictional hedgehog like a real person, where you need to like everything he does to be a true fangirl? Everyone has their own reasons for liking a character, whether it be their looks, their personality, or how relatable their motivations are. Once again, who the fuck are you to gatekeep who can and cannot be a fan of Silver?
So, you mean to say that it's completely fine to like a character only for their looks and not caring for anything else about them other than their looks? How is that accepting whether it's fiction or real life? So, it's not okay for Yoshi 1 for being shallow to Amy, but it's completely fine if Melody is to Silver? Honestly, I wouldn't care that she only likes him for his looks if she didn't say that there's a lot about the things she likes about the character and is a quote-unquote huge fan of him. That's not gatekeeping. That's me not understanding how she can call herself that when she clearly has more problems with him than liking the way he was made to be and just want to be improved.
If anyone subbed to me prior to this video series, then you might have seen my video about Relax. I did a poorly done video on his rant on Princess Peach and why he thinks she's a terrible character. Well, at the time, I couldn't understand where he was going, but there were some things that were misinformed, such as how he misunderstood Peach as a character, and just not some random damsel in distress, which is somewhat the case, but in the end it was just me white knighting over a fictional mushroom princess. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I sort of relate to the mindset Ruth has in the original video. Defending something that you like but most people dislike can happen to anyone, myself included. Relax has over 1.5 million subs with a ton of people agreeing with his ass. So do you think he can give two shits on what I think about Princess Peach? Well, of course not. He doesn't have time for that type of bullshit. Now let's take that experience and apply it to here. Melody isn't popular on DeviantArt and has roughly 50 followers. Not to mention that it's confirmed that she's a minor sharing her opinions online like everyone else. But ever since Alduin picked this up, it now has been seen by hundreds of thousands of people because a YouTuber uploaded a video dedicated to their favorite character and reacts to her comment. And this really shows how sensitive you are, Ruth. However, there is more than just this comment Melody said about Silver, but we'll get to that later in the next video. For now, let's just hold on to that.
And again, why is Silver's flaws bothering you this much if you're supposedly a huge fan of him? I haven't played Sonic Rivals, I don't know much what's going on in those games, or what he's doing in there, but either way, it doesn't matter. You know why? Because I will always, and I mean it, I will always love him just the way he is.
And also, from the little I've seen in the game, he might act more quote-unquote immature or whatever, but honestly, I couldn't care less. It doesn't change my mind of how I see in Silver. In fact, it makes me want to be supportive of him, and that's what you should do as a fangirl, people.
Well, I guess I'm not an Eddie Gluskin fangirl then, because I think him trying to cut off Waylon's penis is a no-no.
You know what you got yourself into when liking a character like Eddie Gluskin, so to be fair, you don't really have a reason to complain. And same thing goes to Mela Sugarplum with Silver. Your morals should have nothing to do with your feelings towards a character because you like them regardless of the good or bad stuff they do, which is what you do with Eddie Gluskin, Alduin. So why is it so hard for Melody to do the same with Silver?
God, Moondisc is so fucking right. It is hard to remain neutral. So let me dumb this down to anyone who doesn't understand this. She states, and I quote, "If you like villainous characters, mostly antagonists, then you condone their actions." Bitch! I don't act like some loner and mourn about my identity just because I like Shadow. I don't condone being a clown fucker in public just because I like Gamzee. And I definitely do not condone acting like some sociopath and support kidnapping because I support Bowser. Don't tell me that you confuse fact and fiction. The character Alduin brings up is fiction. That means he's not real. If you like problematic characters, and understand that you don't condone their actions, then congratulations! You're normal!
Not what this faker doing.
I found you, faker!
This is the only joke I actually think it's funny. It's got everything. It's got the perfect timing, a legit joke, and it's very original compared to the other horrible jokes she's done in this whole video. No, I'm being serious. Alduin unintentionally gave me the actual entertainment I can truly enjoy. So, gotta give you credits for that, girl. But don't push your luck.
Faker! I think you're the fake hedgehog around here. You're comparing yourself to me? Huh? You're not even good enough to be
I'll
my
make you eat those words!
But if that was the case, how come he was shouting Espio's name after that? I feel like he's a brat when he doesn't get his way. An example is in Sonic Rivals, where he shouts at anyone who needs to talk to Eggman for their personal reasons, instead of talking things out with them and working together, and maybe he could even help Silver, if someone's so selfish and arrogant, to yell and say,
Get out of my way, I got personal business with him.
Well, what can I say about this one? She clearly doesn't know Silver at all. If he's determined about something, you would know he wouldn't let anyone get in his way. Which would explain of his quote-unquote arrogant, quote-unquote brat, and quote-unquote selfish behavior. And Sonic and Silver didn't even know each other. So what makes you think he's just gonna be all like, hey, let's cooperate someone I don't even know and just met?
Well, Silver being arrogant towards others and not listening to what others say before acting on impulse seems like a pretty agitating trait for a character to have.
Wait, Alduin. Hold up. Didn't you say this about Knuckles when it comes to acting on impulse?
You know that Knuckles being a bonehead has always been kind of a present theme in Sonic, right? I'm pretty sure the fans are well aware that Knuckles acts on impulse because of how hot-headed he is.
So, Knuckles acting on impulse because he's a hothead gets a pass, but not Silver, whom is kind of doing the same, but not because he's a hothead, but because he's such a determined character whom doesn't know any better is somehow different? How is Silver's character trait being agitated any different from Knuckles' trait being something similar?
I think Ruth is right on this one, because she mentioned earlier that Knuckles was tricked by Eggman in Sonic Adventure and is using that as an example to counter-argue Silver being tricked by Mephiles in Sonic 06. So let's compare Knuckles and Silver for a minute here. Knuckles is described as independent, tough, egotistical, and kind-hearted. He's also known for being antisocial, selfless, and headstrong. Silver is described as having a sense of justice, optimistic, a realist, and is helpful towards others. He is also described as courageous, brave, and wears a heart on his sleeve. Both are very similar because of how naive they can be at times. Knuckles, despite being antisocial, can often be gullible. This leads to him being tricked by Eggman in earlier games. Silver is naive because he's inexperienced and takes people's words without questioning them. This leads to why Silver believed in Mephiles in the first place. Knuckles and Silver share the same trait of being tricked by enemies who they don't know at first glance and lack social ingenuity, or in Silver's case, lack of critical thinking. I'm giving Ruth a benefit of a doubt here because at least she understands the similarities between the event that happened in Adventure 1 and using it as an example in Sonic 06.
It's funny that you think Silver's justified when denying to cooperate with Sonic, but when Silver decides to listen to what Mephiles has to say, it's A-okay.
The difference with Silver listening to Mephiles and him not listening to Sonic is that Silver was desperate to save his future and could take any information he could get. But with Sonic and Rivals, it was all about who could get to Eggman first, and the game is called Sonic Rivals for a reason, where everyone is being competitive.
Well, whoop-de-doo, you stated the fucking obvious. What do you want, a cookie?
Again, I don't know much about the plot of Sonic Rivals series, but I know for sure however Silver's acting is not coming from the wrong place in his heart.
You've never played the game. You don't know what Silver does in that game. He might have fucking ate babies. You wouldn't know. I wouldn't know.
Maybe he did eat babies in that game.
I think you need a little break from playing horror games to understand that you don't need to play a different Sonic game to understand how the character would act.
Interesting that even Sonic Rivals 1 and 2 mentioned the events of Sonic 06 because it came out literally after, despite Sonic 06 retconning everything. That's some 1000 IQ bullshit right there.
And it really irks me of how she just doesn't get that and make him sound like a bad character. And again, this is from someone who's supposed to be a huge fan of him. And FYI, Sil was wondering where Espio went since Espio was spying him around regarding the child disappearances. And I think it was also because he didn't know what he was up to. So him saying, fine, I don't need you anyway, does not make him sound arrogant, bratty, or whatever, as you claimed. Besides, that was also before they both decided to team up. And another thing, you acting like Silver can't be cooperative, but once Espio believed what he said about protecting the child, Silver explained to him what was going on with the whole Eggman Nega wants to release Ifrit. Kind of like Mephiles releasing Iblis plot. Same thing can be said about saving Sonic and coming up with the idea of fixing the timeline to rescue Elise and Eggman from dying once he found out the truth about Mephiles, thanks to Shadow.
I find that very disrespectful, especially saying that to someone you didn't even meet.
What the hell are you talking about? Am I missing something here, folks?
Because it totally wouldn't be disrespectful if someone told you they'd be better off without you or your help, right?
Alduin, you haven't played the game yourself, so how can you agree with what Melody Sugarplum is saying about how Silver acted if you haven't seen the cutscenes to make your own judgment? Aren't you kind of blindly believing her when you don't know yourself what happened in the game?
That's fair, and both of you need to watch the gameplay because neither of you understood what happened. I'll post a link to the description to both cutscenes from Sonic 06 and Sonic Rivals, because both of you know absolutely nothing from these games, and I'm pretty sure Ruth hasn't played Sonic 06 in years, or just saw Silver as eye candy when she stumbles onto a YouTube video. Okay, I'm gonna stop here for today because this video is starting to hurt my head a little and I need to lay down for once. So, in the next video, we're going to hopefully finish the last couple of minutes and talk about the issues regarding this drama and other information, and lastly, my final thoughts. Again, please wait until the end of the video series to form your opinion on the whole situation. So, I'll see you guys in part 4. Bye.